Hi, my name is Carlos Carranza, and I'll be covering Whole Foods Market's case on the big question whether they should expand to low-income urban communities. I'm going to touch a little brief history here on where it all started, and it all started in 1980 with John Mackey and Renee Lawson, founders of Safer Way Natural Foods, who partnered up with Craig Weller, owner of Clarksville Natural, and created what we know now as Whole Foods Market. They were given this idea that they could expand to other grocers who provided organic goods and fit the image of Whole Foods Market. So they did acquisitions, mergers, and even built from the ground up. And some of the culture here that Whole Foods Market seeks is, growth, but at the same time, they do have this commitment for their community. And going back to the question, whether or not Whole Foods Market should expand to these low-income areas, it was all brought down and asked to Larry Austin, store manager of Midtown Detroit, who had to take in four considerations. First one was transforming the brand image, whether it was appropriate for not only offering the service and products to higher class privileged residents, but also to low-income urban communities. The second consideration would be addressing the food access, which, it's a consideration to take in because some of these healthy foods are, some of them are out of reach for these low-income communities, but at the same time some of these establishments does create employment opportunities, like Midtown Detroit, that provide 60% of its employment. Well, 60% of its employment comes from Detroit residents. And the third consideration would be respecting the business bottom line, whether or not it's foolish that Whole Foods Market is, driving away from familiar communities and going into these low-income communities. And now the last one would be pushing out local businesses and residents. And the type of strategy that they originally used in the beginning was focused differentiation, and that is focusing on a narrow market, and the market was people who found value, and of course their demographics were including a higher income. And it does impact the strategy on the low income, expanding to low income communities, because now it's going a lot broader. And as for my analysis, I approve that the expansion should be done to Englewood, and it should be done to low-income urban communities, because, like in Chicago, Englewood, it provides community college and a culinary institution that could be worked with, two factors, and the demographics there are very similar to the ones in Midtown Detroit, and Midtown Detroit's establishment has been very successful. Of course, the community there is deeply in need of an outreach, like Whole Foods. A Whole Foods Market is very, very well supportive, and unemployment rates are high. Competition is fierce, but a Whole Foods Market is able to handle it, and now that they're able to go a lot more broader in their strategy, they're able to take over some of these areas and profit out of them. But either way, they are still keeping their position, like they have kept their position in Midtown Detroit, which is having high quality products and providing great service at the same time. And lastly, so it comes down to the triple bottom line, and the company did focus on this approach as it had purchased renewable energy credits that offset 100% of its business. It did focus on that, which is they are very environmentally friendly, as well as social concerns. They focus on those. Obviously, they seek nonprofit organizations to support. And my thoughts for it is I do support, and I'm a strong believer for this triple bottom line, only for those businesses who are able to afford and have the margins sufficient enough to transfer over to those other lines of the approach, but it's not for every company. If they don't have enough power or enough leverage, maybe they should stay to one focus and not completely fulfill or try to satisfy every area of concern, like social, environmental, and economic-wise. Economically, it should be first, as the profit is what gains success. Thank you so much for your time, and hope you liked it.